It's John McLaughlin. Welcome to another video. So if this is the first time you visit the channel, or if you're not subscribed, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button just down there. And if you get some value from this video, give us a big thumbs up as well. Really appreciate that. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about building out a landing page. I was on a call a few days ago, and it was quite obvious that a lot of people on the call needed a little bit of help and guidance about how to put a landing page together. That's a way to get leads in. So you're going to put a landing page together on a site, you get a lead, and essentially there are some fundamental basics to follow when you put a landing page together. It's very simple and straightforward, but if you don't know, then you don't know. Okay, and what I find, one of the major mistakes I find with a lot of beginners is they tend to put too much information on one page. They want to give their leads or their potential leads all the benefits of what they can do for the people, for your audience, but they tend to put too much on. If you're of a certain age, you'll remember the Yellow Pages. Okay, remember that big thick book with all the business details, and it was a great source of some really clever marketing, some good ads. And what I used to find is that the established businesses would follow the principles of just a basic landing page. Headline, subheadline, call to action, features, benefits. Okay, that was kind of it, and then call to action. What you find with the newer businesses is that they would cram every ounce of space they could with a website, or with with a phone number, or with their benefits, or an offer. And that's the problem most people make, or that's the mistake most people make, is that. So I'm going to be going through this. So what I would say is, if you're in the process of putting together your landing page, there's one thing that you need to do first, and that's go into designing the page with your knowledge of your audience and the intentions of what you want to achieve with that. So do some research. And the thing is, doing research is boring. I get it. I understand that research is boring. I understand it's not very glamorous, but it's essential. It really is essential. And just doing a tiny bit of research, primary, secondary research. So primary research is, reaching out to your audience, asking questions on social media, doing those little survey things in groups or in pages. If you haven't got any, if you don't have a group or a page, or if you don't have the facility to get a survey, go and find one. Okay, there's plenty of free ones out there, and particularly on social media. And you might not get a huge amount of interaction, but you'll get something back, and people will start to get to know what you're doing. Okay, so get the information from your audience. What are they looking for? What are their pain points? What's a solution that would really benefit them? And the trouble with most people is, at this stage, it comes to people guess. Well, I think, my pain point was this, so I'm going to do that. And that will work to a degree, but there's a lot of assumption in that. Okay, so doing some primary research, going out, talking to people, maybe put a post on social media. I'm doing a mastermind today. It's going to be open for a few hours. I'm going to be online. Let me know what your pain points are. Let me know what you're struggling with, and I can help you. Something along those lines. And you can just have a general chit chat with people. And then, of course, you've got secondary research, where you can find out what most people are asking in forums, in replies and comments on YouTube comments, and that kind of thing. So you can get a general feel, but it's not as good as the primary research. But do that and go in forearmed before you actually build anything out. Like I said, I know it's boring, but it's an essential part of the process. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some of my latest landing page. Okay, and I'm going to walk you through it, and I'm going to give you some of those principles. The reason I give you principles is marketing principles never change. Okay, strategies, gimmicks, they come and go. Okay, if I teach you principles, then you'll understand this, and you'll be able to adapt this. Watch this video, and in 5 years' time, it will still be relevant. Okay, so that's why I teach principles. Right, so what you can see here is one of the landing pages I put together. It's a brand new one. I put it together last week. It's real simple and straightforward, but I want to talk you through the process of why I did what I did. So I started basically with a blank screen, and I know my audience and what I'm saying to my audience in this headline. And the thing is, when you first do a landing page, think about the headline. And it's so important to get a headline that captivates. And I know there's a lot of facilities right now where you can go on to AI and they can produce a headline for you. But take the AI as a kind of a source of inspiration and then adapt it. You've got to adapt things in your voice. And even now, AI is getting more and more clever every single day. And you can type something out and you go, well, I could have written that. Well, that's the idea of AI. That's what it's doing. Okay, it's monitoring you all the time. So it's going to give you more of how you sound. So this really, what this is, it's a free training video. And if you say to somebody, I've got a training video, then you give them a training video. You give something that has got loads and loads of value stacked out at the front end. If you say to somebody, I mean, like it says free video. I don't know if it says training video on here. Quick video on there. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm under promising and I'm over delivering with the value. But if you say something like I've got a training video, then you over deliver with the value. Okay, you stack the odds in your favor by giving people a really good video or a good training or something in return for their details. Pain points. Okay, you're about to learn how to unlock 3 residual income streams. Okay, who doesn't want residual income? And as I always say in all my videos, residual income is what everybody should be aiming for. And if you look at business these days, every single business has a monthly recurring income attached to it. Okay, you've got to pay for something every single month. I guarantee if there's something that you're not paying for every single month, please let me know. Okay, because I want your advice. Okay, so how do you get? So the pain point is, well, we're going to learn how to unlock it. So it's getting people. Well, what is this thing? I want residual income, but what is it? Okay, and what I say there is you can get all this by accessing all the tools and the help and the guidance you will ever need. So a lot of people, they're kind of stuck. They don't really know what to do. They don't know what information to get to give them the results in a quick way. And this is what I'm saying. Okay, I can provide you with that. And what you could do, I'm not saying that this headline is the best headline. Okay, there are lots of things that I could do with this to make it more compelling. There's lots of things I could, but what I'm really mindful of, me personally, is I'm really mindful of the fact that there's so much clickbait out on social media. I mean, there's more and more every single day. And if you look at any of the mainstream media video titles, it'll be like drama, and then you look at it and there's no drama at all. Okay, it's just politics unfolding. Okay, so that's what you want to be mindful of that, because you only get a few opportunities, maybe even one opportunity, to deliver on what you say. Because if you're out there producing videos that are just pure clickbait, where when people watch the video it's just useless kind of thin information, people won't look at you again and you'll lose credibility. So you've got to be really careful with that. So yes, the headline could be more compelling, but I like to keep my headlines kind of middle of the road, kind of just slightly under deliver but then over deliver with the information. Okay, so what you've got here, this free video reveals, this is like a little sub headline kind of telling people what they're going to get. They're going to get a free video, and it reveals, and that hopefully we want them to go to the next line. Okay, so it goes to the headline, and the majority of people, 80% of people, will read the headline. So the next subheadline just says, this quick video reveals a brand new way. Sorry if I feel like I'm shouting today. So this quick video reveals a brand new way to generate 3 reliable income streams that anyone can do working from home. And that's what it is, because that's what it is. All right, simple as that. So what I've done here, I've got a video, and this is an image. And again, this is something that I kind of deliberated with. Let me show you the button first. This is the button, okay? Yes, please give me access to the video, and you get a pop-up. People enter their details and they click yes, and it goes to a thank you page, and the thank you page then says, go and check your email. So it's so important right now to not give people access directly from the page, because you'll end up with spam and bots, and then your email autoresponder will be full of complete junk, and you'll lower your deliverability rate. So don't ever do that. Okay, make sure you access via email all the time. So what we've got here, okay, this button, okay, I always go for this kind of hover image. Some people have different images, different kind of transitions when it comes to the hover, but I always go for that. The hover image, that's it. So any sales funnel that you get, any button that you see on my websites or wherever you go, it's always the same. Okay, so you've got a bit of branding going on there as well. The other thing is when you instead of having, let me show you this. So this is another page where you've got the name and email on the page itself, and you click yes go. And this was designed for a solo ads campaign. So this is a bit different. What we've got here is we've got the pop-up, and the pop-up, if you look at the psychology, it forms part of the commitment and the consistency theory, which means is by getting people to make small commitments, they lead to bigger commitments. Okay, so the small commitment is having the pop-up, and also another commitment is entering their details. Now here's something else, and there's another part psychology, is that when you've got almost there, 50% complete, people don't like things that are not complete. And there was a psychologist called Zygarnik. I can't remember her first name, but she was Eastern European, and she was a psychologist, and she was in a restaurant, and she was looking at all the waitresses going around and the waiters, and she thought, how do they know which bills have not been paid? So they would service people on the tables, and they would always go back to a table that hadn't paid and give them the bill. How do they know that? Okay, this was back in, I think it was back in the 40s. And she realized that people remember tasks that are not complete. And it also bothers people when tasks are not complete. Okay, so it taps into that Zygarnik effect. So you put things like 50% complete, or you're almost there, just fill out these details. It then compels people to complete the form. Okay, and particularly if you give in something away that is of value as well. That's kind of really important. So that commitment and consistency theory is why we have the pop-ups instead of just going straight to the email. Okay, so that's another reason. The other thing I was contesting was this. What I've got here is the video. Now, to all intents and purposes, it looks like a video. So you go, okay, I'm going to press play, and then suddenly you get, damn, I've got this pop-up thing. Okay, and again, that's something I was kind of mindful of. And I'm testing this with another split test as to whether that's going to really annoy people or not. And in today's day and age, it's probably going to annoy more people than not. Okay, so again, we're testing it. We're going to find out what happens. And the other thing we've got on here as well is we've got some testimonials from the people that I work with, or people that have given me testimonials over the sort of recent times, and it just gives a bit more social proof. So it's really important to have social proof on your landing pages. And if you look at some of my other pages, you'll see a little pop-up sometimes that'll come up in the bottom left-hand corner, and it will say Dave has just subscribed, okay, or Dave is now watching the free video. So you've got that social proof as well. So it's kind of important to put these elements together, okay, for a landing page. The other thing you want to look at is making sure everything is what we call above the fold. And above the fold comes back to the early days of newspaper printing, where when a newspaper was folded, okay, they could pick it up, fold it up, and they can get all the details, the headline, the text, and the call to action, okay, whatever the call to action was, all above the fold. And the same thing happens here. So can you imagine if this button was kind of down here, okay, so you don't want the button down there, because what you don't want is people to have to scroll. And you might think, well, that's just lazy, forget about them people. No, you've got to go within the principles of how these things work, and that's something else. So make sure everything's above the fold. If you look at this one, again, that's just the page itself. There's nothing else on the page. I think there's the footer, but that's it. Okay, so people go from a solo ad, they go to this, they then go to a thank you page, they then go to the offer. Okay, so that's kind of the way it works. And again, what I tend to do with, and what you'll find with a lot of people who put their landing pages together, once you've got your style and once you've got something that works, people tend to stick with it. Okay, they tend to stick with it, and they tend to stick with the same kind of style because it then forms part of that same brand. Okay, so again, looking at the branding sort of stuff, this color is my color. Okay, this blue color, and the only reason it's my color is because when I got this image back from the designer back in, I think I did this one in 2015, I think. He came back and he gave me some options, and that was it. So I went with it, and that's it's kind of stuck ever since then. So what you've got there, you've got this grey colour, you've got this blue, and that's it. There's just two colours. So I put the grey up there just to add a bit of contrast. So if you look at the actual, that is the main page. So the main page is there, and I kind of use those 2 or 3 colours. I use green on the button, and I've got a different green. So what I do as well is that I try and make some of the colours congruent with the actual sales page, and it's so important to go from one page to the next and make sure they're the same. And if you're promoting something as an affiliate and they've got a green button as their main green, then make sure that green button's the same, because people subconsciously identify with it. Okay, that's the button I clicked, and I clicked it and I got a nice result because I'm now on the next page, and that's what I want. And now I've got access to this video, and then the video goes to a sales page, and the sales page has got similar things in there. A nice green button. Okay, I remember that green button from before. Positive affirmations. Let's go ahead with it. And that's how you get people through the sales process. So looking at the headline, if you look at, if you study different people, going back, Ted Nicholas was an old school copywriter, and he used to say 14 words was about the right amount for a headline, and then some people said it was 20 something words. Really, it depends on what you want to say, but ultimately with landing pages, the way that landing pages work is keeping them simple. It's so easy to overcomplicate it. It's so easy to get too over enthusiastic with what you're trying to do. You've got this great product, you know it's a great product, so you want everyone to know all the features and benefits on one single page. And let me tell you, simpler is better. Even if you look at something like this, I've seen some landing pages with about a quarter of the text on this, and they've converted really well because it's simple. There's no ambiguity as to what this is. It. Click here for your information. Thanks. And if you're the sort of marketer that delivers value, and you're going to build an audience that knows that you deliver value, then you're gonna credit yourself with being a marketer that says what they do. Okay, and that's really important. So in terms of doing this, this is our funnel builder software. You can essentially do anything with this. You can move this about. We could move this down. And what I mean by above the fold, imagine if I got onto the page and it was like this, and you go, that's nice, and click off, and the call to action's down there. Okay, so it's really important to do that. The other thing that would be good for you to do as well is to understand some copywriting frameworks. So over on my academy, if you look at this, a framework essentially is kind of the framework of what you say and how you do it. So if you look at what I've got here, we've got 10 of the most popular copywriting frameworks. So we've got the 4 Ps, the IDA, most people are familiar with IDA, the app framework, the before after framework, the fab, and there's all, I'm not going to read them all out because you can see them there. But if we look at something like the 4 Ps, the 4 Ps essentially picture, promise, proof, and push. Okay, so it's for sales pages. Basically what you can do with frameworks, you can use them for email marketing, you can use the frameworks for storyboards, for videos, you can use them for landing pages and sales pages. And what you'll find is by using the right framework, will then tap into your brand and your audience and their needs and wants, and that's the most important thing. So looking at something like this, I'll just read this out where it says the framework is for sales pages and email marketing campaigns where you want to paint a vivid picture of your offer. You make bold promises and you back them with proof and push for action. So could you do that? Anybody can do this. And I'll tell you a little bit of an experience. When I was running my karate club, it was a bit of a shotgun approach when I first started doing it. I remember I used to go and deliver leaflets to people around the streets, little A5 leaflets or A4 leaflets. Then I would get a phone call from somebody and they would say, "Oh, I'm interested in your lessons." And I would say, "Okay, we're doing a beginner's course next Tuesday. Come along and we'll meet you." Okay, and it was something like that. Then I've sort of discovered the online world and I started putting things online. Then I discovered a framework and I went to a workshop and some guy who was a copywriter gave us a framework to use. And I used this framework almost verbatim, and it was so easy to put the landing page together and the sales page together, and it worked a treat, absolutely worked a treat, and I couldn't believe it. So finding a framework that works for you really does have a major difference when it comes to building out sites or building out landing pages. But also you've got to know your audience and you've got to know what they want and what they need. Okay, so it's important as well. So that's it. I mean, there's all kinds of information on if you look at the IDA, okay, everyone knows this: the attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, so we can follow that as well. I'm not going to show you too much because this is on my sort of paid side. There we go. And what I would say when you're putting your landing page together, and what I'm going to be doing Wednesday, I'm going to be going through putting a landing page together in a live workshop. I do a training every Wednesday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's just you come along for free. I'll show you what to do and have a Q&A, and it's a bit like more of an extension of these sorts of videos, but obviously interactive, so you can be there and get those questions answered. And I'll tell you, when you can put together converting landing pages, you're going to get leads. And there's only two things that you really need in this business or in this industry or anything in business is you're going to need leads, a supply of leads, and a way to get those leads and turn them into customers and look after them for life. Okay, that's it. So this is a really important thing. And you know, from seeing so many different kind of landing pages and examples, there's a lot of people that just need a little bit of help. And if you come along on Wednesday, what we can do, we can have a look at your sales funnels or your landing pages, and we can have a look at them, and I can tell you how they can be improved. But a little bit of help makes all the difference. And you'll be surprised at the things that convert and the things that don't convert, because sometimes without that knowledge of knowing your audience and without having a good framework that works, then you are almost shooting in the dark. And if you attach that to a paid advertising campaign, you're spending money on campaigns that probably aren't going to work, and you're going to get disheartened, and you're going to wonder why. You think, well, I've got this great product, I've got this great page, or you think it's a great page, but it doesn't convert. So it's just ironing out those little things that make all the difference. Okay, so again, just think about the principles. Okay, understand who your audience is and understand their pain points, and it's so worth spending, you know, half the time, even as much time as you can, on finding out what they need, which means getting amongst your potential customers and getting on social media and asking people questions in the right way. Okay. Headline. Make sure your headline addresses the pain points and provides a solution, and your subheadlines are there to draw the eye to the next thing. Okay, even though we've got a real simple thing, people scan everything online. You know, they might look at this and they might go, "Oh, what's this video?" Click on that. You know, oh, so I'm out on the wrong page. Let's click on that. There's a video there. Let's click on that, and they go, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" Enter your details below to access the video training. Okay, without having read the headline. Okay, that can happen as well. So you need to put these little things in place to draw people's attention to the right thing at the right time. Okay, and it all comes with experience. The other thing as well is make sure everything is above the fold. That's really important, to be above the fold. And what you want to be doing is testing not only on your desktop to make it always above the fold, but also test on your mobile, because there are so many people who, in fact, I would say, is it about 80% of people now access the web, the internet, the interwebs, the internet on their phones. You know, so it's so important to make sure that is optimized for phones as well. Okay, that's it. Anyway, I know I've rushed through this. I am a little bit conscious of my camera, which only sort of records for half an hour, and I want to keep these kind of trainings short to the point. But again, there's going to be a lot more information available on the Wednesday session if you want to come along. I'll put the link just below to the Wednesday session, and I'll put a few links that's going to be of interest to you. Have a look at those. And I say it's not my sessions are not a pitch fest. Okay, I tell you about how things work. We do a Q&A. Obviously, I tell you what software I'm using, but the idea is just to give you the information, and you take away with whatever you need, and that's where we're at. So, anyway, if you got some help or if you got some good advice from this, just let me know. Give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and if you've got any questions in the meantime, drop me a comment. I'm always available for comments, so just drop it in there. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.